Hey, fellow dog and cat owners. I am really excited this afternoon to talk to you guys about one of my favorite products. And this is really mostly for the dog lovers out there. You know, when we started Lap of Love, I always kind of had this theory that we would help a lot of cats because cats have a hard time, traveling easy, getting them into the cat carrier, bringing them to the clinic. And unfortunately, a lot of times cats don't get seen by their veterinarian. So I thought with Lap of Love that we would be helping a lot of cats. And though we do help cats, the number one pet that we see is dogs. And the number one ailment is mobility issues. And it ranges from just a mild arthritis to really big mobility issues where they're even in wheelchairs or completely unable to move. So hi from Toronto, Super Sue. And I myself, I'll tell you my story. I have had 3 dogs that have had mobility issues. My first was my Samoyed, and hi from Georgia, my Samoyed Sarissa. Wait, there, she's behind that little palm front. And she had arthritis. So she had hip dysplasia and she had really bad arthritis. And I was starting to use towels to move her around, and then some harnesses I just got at the pet store. And hi from Pennsylvania. And it was not so difficult because she was about 50 pounds, and her ailment or her mobility issue wasn't too bad. Up next is my big Doberman, Duncan. So there's his picture over there. And sorry, I love reading your guys' comments, so just check it in. So my Doberman Duncan, he had laryngeal paralysis, and that will lead a lot to what we call a polyneuropathy. So it's a neurological disease where they actually will start to do that little toe drag, the toe knuckling, weakness in their hind end. It's usually bilateral, so both sides, not just one hip, both sides. So this is a really bad disease, and I'm a part of the Facebook group for laryngeal paralysis owners. So hi, all of you that are here. And so he was 110 pounds, and now we're getting bigger. And so he had a struggle. And now my current dog is an Anatolian Shepherd. She should be about 80 pounds. She has lymphoma, though. So she has a type of cancer, which is actually has since traveled to her spine. And that's actually what I first noticed her mobility issues was a year ago. Her little leg would just tremor a little bit. And it was just really weird to me. And I was, maybe it's arthritis. And so long story short, I had, I brought her to a neurologist, and we did an MRI, and we found that there was cancer in her spine. And so since about May, her mobility has gotten worse, and it's really severe now. So as it's getting worse over time. So hello from Buffalo and Baltimore, Connecticut, and the UK, Texas. So my girl Sam, I have to say that my girl Sam. So she's got a boy name, but she's Sam. She's stubborn as a mule. Okay, and I had bought the lamps. Hello from Georgia, LARPAR group. I had bought ramps to go into the car because she needed to go see her oncologist a lot, go to the groomer often, and she was not having the ramp. I know how to train a dog to get up a ramp. She was not having it. And so it was almost impossible for me to get her into the car. And so I have an SUV, so I have a Ford Explorer, like almost all cop cars out there. And so it was almost impossible. And I am a big girl. I'm 6'1". I can lift a lot of heavy items, but Sam did not like me lifting her or using the ramp. So I had to use my favorite harness of all time. So that's what this Facebook Live is dedicated to. And that is the harness that I recommend the most, which is called the Help 'em Up harness. And I just need to start off this conversation with a disclaimer. My disclaimer is I get zero money for anything I advertise, including this. And I want to say that because I don't think I could talk better about any other product than this Help 'em Up harness. I recommend it to just about everybody. I put it in my lectures when I'm lecturing to veterinarians. It basically should be my signature card. So I don't get any kickbacks. To be honest, I don't even get a discount myself. I tried, I don't get a discount. but it's it is worth its money in gold. And so I wanted to just talk to you guys about this harness and why I like it so much. And we also have a little video to play that they sent over, the makers of Help 'em Up harness. So I was trying to get the makers of the harness, and they're having some difficulty connecting, but I'm going to keep on talking and play their video in the meantime. But I'm still talking. So why I like this harness. First of all, when you've got a dog with mobility issues, you really need to almost have it on them at all times, because you never know when you're going to need it, right? It's like insurance. And if you've got a dog that's painful and you're trying to get them up and you're putting your arms underneath their bellies, right, to get them to stand up, that could be painful. Or you're rushing to go get the towel to put on, the beach towel to put under them and hold it like a sling. That can be really hard when they're painful or they're large and you just don't catch them in time. So I really like a harness that I can keep on for most of the day, 24/7 really. And that way, at any time, if my dog is slipping or needs my assistance, bam, I'm right there to help. So Sam, my girl, just last night, she's in front of the water bowl and she starts to sink in her back legs. And so I just help her up a little bit. I love the name even. So I've got a Help 'em Up harness with me, but I'm going to tell you some of the things that I love about the Help 'em Up harness. Now I know that you see two colors, and I'll explain why I have two colors, but the harness itself is so just well made, and it has so much cushiony bits. So because I've seen some harnesses that really just have like a nylon, if you will, like this nylon, and it could rub and cause some just dermatitis and just some abrasions and cutting. So regardless of the harness that you use, make sure that you take it off every day. Even though I want to keep it on, take it off every day. Check to make sure all their little bits where the straps are hitting doesn't have any kind of abrasions, or there may be a little bit of hair loss just because that's where it sits all the time, but I don't want to have any skin damage. But I love the Help 'em Up harness because it's got these really great cushions, if you will, all over the place. Now, the best part of this harness is that it's really good on the hind end, and this video is going to sorry, I'm trying to read the comments too. I'm going to get back to your comment, Amber. So the hind end, where a lot of our mobility issues are in the hind end, gets such good support. So it really brings them up from underneath their abdomen as well as their chest. So it distributes the weight across the whole pet, and it's so easy. So it's got a handle in the front and a handle in the back, boop, picks them right up, and it distributes the weight. So what I see a lot of people with just front end harnesses, I mean, if your dog has a front end issue, then a front end harness is okay. But most of our dogs have hind end issues. But the harnesses that are only in the front, if you've got a dog and here's their head and here's I should get it. You know what? I'm going to have to get a dog stuffed animal. I have a cat stuffed animal. Anyway, when you pick up from the front, you're actually now putting more weight on the back, and that's what's hurting them. So we need to pick up from the hind end. So the harness comes in two sections, and I'm doing a horrible job being Vanna White here, but it comes in two sections. This section is what's actually attached to the dog in the front. So their head goes through this. The video that I'm going to show is going to do a better job than me. And these clips are just super easy to snap on and off. So this goes underneath, around their forearm, and snaps right in. And it's got this beautiful, thick, comfortable handle. So it's really easy in the front to pick up. Then the back end component, so you got two components. Okay, I know this could look scary. Trust me, it's super easy. This goes in their hind end. So this goes over their hips, okay? And I mean, it's so squishy and lovely. Then their tail, or their nub, if you're like my Doberman, he just had a nub, the tail goes through here, and this goes around their back end and scoops underneath them, and then these little straps go connect. Now, what's cool is that the Help 'em Up harness has both girl and boy versions. So that way you can leave them on and they won't, they can still go to the bathroom without getting it dirty. So this is their little tail and booty comes out of here, and then the boy and girl parts are just set up perfectly you know where I'm going. So the front and the back then connect like this. So what I'm going to do now is play the video, and then I'm going to come back because I'm going to give you some of my tips on what I did wrong with my first Help 'em Up harness and what I suggest you guys do. So I'm going to play this video. Let's see if I do this right. Here you go. I'll be back.
To the Help 'em Up harness, the first full body harness designed to let you lift your aging, injured, or recuperating dog up off the floor, up and down stairs, or in and out of vehicles. A harness so unique, it's patented. With easily accessible handles above the shoulders and hips, when you lift, it lifts from under your dog's chest and pelvis so that it never pulls or strains joints or tendons. Excessively engineered, it has complete neoprene padding, tubular nylon straps for double strength and longevity. And it is so well made, we guarantee it with a full year warranty. And now we offer a full assortment of walking leashes, a walking handle, and our new walking loops, which let you assist the part of your dog that needs the greatest assistance. Perfect for dogs needing a little support while squatting. Our harnesses cover the spectrum for dogs from 10 to 225 pounds. A harness that can truly lift the body and spirit of your favorite pup. Visit us at helpemup.com for greater detail and information.
There you go. So, like I said, the video is going to be so much better than I can explain. And I am telling you to get my dog, who she started out at 80 pounds. She's now about 70 or 67, 70 on a good day. So she's losing a lot of weight. But to even get her, or my 110-pound Doberman, boop, right into the car with no problem. And as you can see in the video, you can still use it in conjunction with a ramp. So you don't have to, totally change everything. I just can't say enough about this harness. I leave it on Sam. All my pets, I've left it on the whole time. I take it off to go check everything is okay. Now, some of you may be asking, why do I have two colors? This comes in a variety of sizes. And I know somebody asked, oh, good. Jen says it couldn't come at a better time. Love this harness. Okay. Somebody asked about 12 pounds. I think they make a small one. So you can go on their website and see what their smallest is to over 200 pounds. Why do I have two colors? Okay. This is for the blue is the larger breed, larger size, and the orange is like a medium size. And what happened with Sam is because she really should be the blue size, but she's been starting to lose a lot of weight. And so she's really long. And I was having trouble because I couldn't fit her in the medium and it fit her well. So I actually combined two of my harnesses. I've got every size. Now, here's though my problem, and this is what I want to warn you guys about. So my first harness was the orange one, which is the medium size. And I got this from my Samoyed. I gotta get this out of here. There she goes. I gotta give her some street cred there. Okay, so my Samoyed, and she was about 50 pounds. So I got this and she wore it and it was great. The I don't want to call it a problem, but it's a design feature, is that these are very adjustable. So they've got these adjustable strands, if you will, right? I'm losing my words. But what happened is she was small, so this was bigger for her. So when I tightened it up, her strands were really long, and so I cut them. I should never have cut them, because you never know when you're going to get another dog who needs them. So what they suggest you do is you can stuff the extra bits down here. So it's not stretchy, it's just adjustable, right? So it's just adjustable. So the adjustable the adjustable feature is great, but the extra length of strand or string straps, that's the word I'm looking for, straps, I cut, and I shouldn't have cut it, because now when I needed it for Sam, I couldn't make it any bigger. So what I did is I took Duncan's and Sam's and combined them too, especially this middle part, because she was so long, and I cut the strap, so I couldn't connect the two for what she needed. And then I ended up just getting Sam her own orange one. They've made improvements to it. So I love it. And I'm glad I got the newer version. But anyway, I just wanted to give you guys the tip is that do not cut the straps, and you can mix and match if they don't fit perfectly. But I think the orange, I think it was about $100. Yes, it's a little bit more expensive than than other ones you can buy in the store. Worth its weight in gold. So a few questions that have come through. Does hair get stuck to it? So my girl is an Anatolian Shepherd. So those are furry beasts. And you know what? As much as basically the fur, I don't know if you can see it, is coming onto my own jacket. Anyway, so somebody asked about washing it, and it is super easy to wash. I put it in the washer and dryer. Here's the trick, though, is that sometimes when you wash them, let me get up close. All these little cool snappy things can come undone, and I have had to re-put it together. I deserve to be a part of their assembly line, and they come undone. So you can buy a wash bag with Help 'em Up harness. So the wash bag can go into the wash. So you can just put it all in the bag and easy peasy to wash. And so it makes it super easy. My girl Sam, because of her mobility issues, and I see Cary coming on, so I'm going to invite him on my screen in just a second, from the creator of this. So Sam, when she has fecal incontinence because her cancer is affecting her spine, which is affecting now her ability to hold it, and she's had some diarrhea lately. So if she happens to get it on the straps that go around her booty, super easy to wash. Now somebody asked about keeping it on or taking it off at night. I personally leave it on Sam the whole time because if she struggles or gets caught somewhere, I am quick and easy to get to her. The only time I take it off is actually during the day when I'm brushing her, making sure everything is looking good, getting her feeling good. So now, listen, without further ado, I'm going to bring on the creator. And so he's getting ready. I see him getting ready. So just so you guys know, I know I said this in the beginning, I get no kickback. I can't say enough about this harness. I talk about it everywhere. We already showed the video. And so now I'm going to bring on the creator, Cary Zimmerman. He's coming on in a few seconds. There we go.
Wow. Okay. Hello.
Hello.
Great.
Welcome to our Facebook Live. We've got people from the UK, from Texas, Boston, and a really great group of people. And, you know, I'm a part of a Facebook group for laryngeal paralysis dogs, and they are a huge fan of this as well. So tell me, Cary, did you invent this?
Yes. Actually, I have to give my wife an awful lot of credit because it really was a combined effort, if you will, because we had a dog, Blue, who we named our company after, who had Cushing's disease, and we lived on a state park, but you couldn't get her over a fence. They wouldn't allow fences or gates and that sort of thing. So we literally wanted to take her on walks to keep her active with us and to keep her with us. So we invented the harness to get her over a fence. So and it was. That park also had a dog walking park, and people started asking us questions about it. So that's the evolution of the harness. We just needed something to get her over the fence.
Yeah. And awesome. How awesome. And it's great. So I've spent about 15 minutes gushing about your harness. I have, we help at Lap of Love, we help thousands. I mean, we're going to help 70,000 families this year, and so many have mobility issues. And I have tried every product out there. And as far as harnesses go, this is by far my favorite harness. And
thank you.
So congrats on making a quality product. And so what I was telling everybody is that my invention on your invention was that I put the two colors together because I made a big mistake. Just so you know, I can TM this later for you. But what I did was, this is my first harness for my Samoyed, and the straps are adjustable and it's beautiful, but they were so long and I was getting frustrated, so I cut my straps.
Okay.
which is fine, except for when you want to use it again.
Right. Unfortunately.
So then I had this one for my laryngeal paralysis dog, and he was a 110-pound Doberman, so he was great. Now, in my current dog, Sam, when I had to fit her, I just went and I was like, oh, I'm going to get my help him up harness. So she was able to wear the large one when she was 85 pounds.
Right.
And she's a big breed dog. But she started to lose weight. She's getting, cachexia because of her cancer. She also has Cushing's.
Wow.
So she went down in size, but I cut the straps. So I put the two together and it was great. And then now she's 65 pounds. So I went and bought her own medium one. And you guys have made some enhancements.
Yes, we have.
And I noticed it right away. Like the clips are better. So tell me about your enhancements.
So the enhancements are actually kind of looking down the road just a little bit. Yeah. So we added D-rings because, like you, a lot of the vets who use our product, and a lot of the therapists especially, are always asking, why can't you hook something on this way? Why can't you, restraint for doing all kinds of exercises and rehabilitation? So we added the D-rings so that you could start adding things, and so I'm in the middle of releasing, and some of your viewers may be interested in this, tank straps for those who use water therapy. So they connect to your, to the railings that are on the tops of tanks, and they'll connect to the D-rings on the harness so you can center dogs in the tank that way. Because so many asked, they said, we had to jury rig this thing that hangs over our tank. It's a pain in the neck. And so they said, could you fix something? So that's how a lot of the evolution of our harness has taken place, is by vets and therapists asking us for, could you fix this? Could you make this work? I lengthened the straps numerous times for the very thing you were talking about. You can cut them off, but just don't cut them off too much.
I cut them off too much. And I'm going to just admit it. I was frustrated, and I've learned to shove them down the little holes. Listen, I've done it. So my girl Sam goes to physical therapy, and so she does water treadmill. And I have this great video of her with her harness on, so it stays on her. They're so easy to wash and dry and stuff like that. And so I can't wait to tell my therapist about your next version that will have those, connections, because a lot of our dogs are going into therapy.
I have those in stock, as a matter of fact, as of yesterday. So one of the other things too is I bulked up the harness, and you may or may not sort of, we tried to do this as sort of quietly as possible, but they are definitely bulked up. And the reason being is that we're in testing right now with one small little adaptation. You can connect your dog to your seatbelt, and they can turn the Help 'em Up harness into probably the best seatbelt for dogs, that's available, because it connects both ends of the dog to the seatbelt. So they'll move forward, but they won't slip out. The harness won't break. It's really bulked up, but it's kind of underneath all of that. So
no, I knew when I just got her at like maybe 2 months ago, and it was perfect.
Right.
And I could tell, like, just the clip, everything, because the last time I bought this was 3 years ago, maybe. And so this is how you could reuse them. They're wonderful. And I mean, I just love them. But, there's a lot of comments I'm reading too. And so what happened with a lot of our dogs with mobility issues, especially the neurological ones, they lose weight in the back side more than the front, and they bulk up in the front. So what's nice about your adjustable straps is that you could make that adjustments really well. And my big problem with Sam was that because she's long and I cut the strap between the two, I couldn't. That was my problem. And, although zip ties are good for everything, it was not good for.
You can't add length. You can only shorten it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's interesting you should mention that too, because that's one of the reasons a lot of our clients, why aren't you selling this on Amazon or something? And we don't, specifically for that reason, because we'll sell a half a harness to make sure that your size is correct. Because there are so many dogs that are deeper in the chest and narrower in the waist that you do have to mix and match a little bit.
So you can mix and match.
You can mix and match.
Somebody just asked that, so there you go. I didn't know that, Cary. So that is awesome. Now I know the answer to this, but I'm going to let you answer this. This is Sonia. She says that her dog has a tracheal issue. Okay, so does anyone know if there's a front ring for a leash? It's really on the back, right?
Right.
Does it pull in the neck at all? He's small, 15 pounds. So how small does your small go?
It goes to 10, basically.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So I think this is fine for Sonia's. And this is one of the things why I love the harness, is that it's not pulling on the trachea, or a lot of these dogs with LARPAR, we got to be careful about their neck, or if they've had a tie back or anything like that. And so the front end, wait, not the back end. Our front end has this is on the top. So I would hook I either hook my leash here or here.
And that putting it in the back like that is my recommendation, because there's always the possibility the harness will get too far forward if you don't position it so that the T-pad underneath fits behind those two back kind of padded straps. Those need to be just at the back of the rib cage, and that keeps it in place. And then you can adjust the length underneath the sternum with that strap that you're holding, and that way you can move that O-ring, a little lower, so that it's not putting pressure on the neck of the dog.
Here would be the head.
Yes, and so that when you're adding a leash to it, just like that, that keeps the whole front half of the harness kind of back and moving back.
Yes, I totally get that. Makes so much sense. So I'm just amazed. It's a fantastic design, and I have, I've had some people that are like, oh, buy this one on Amazon for $30, and I'm like, well, there's $30 that you're going to regret.
Well, there are a lot of good designs out there and that sort of thing, but I think where we went the extra mile was the padding is neoprene, and that so it stays soft and it's there for a long time and it's very durable. Plus it's washable, which when I came on, I heard you mentioning washing, and washing is an important part of it.
100%. Right. Besides, say I'm pooping on it by accident. I can't actually, and a lot of our viewers will appreciate this. Sometimes you can't bring them to groomers anymore. She's so almost paralyzed that no groomer can groom her well, and so so her harness smells a little bit. So we got to do a weekly descenting,
right?
And just I like it clean and it's fresh and it's nice.
And we do sell individual parts.
Oh,
so that like a back half, you can buy a second one so that you can wash one and have one to use, and so that's another option.
That's actually a really good idea, because like I said, I keep her in it all the time, except for when I take her out I brush her and I make sure everything is fine, and just, give her a good scratch and love down. It goes right back on.
Right. Air drying is the only thing I request. The neoprene is kind of susceptible to heat. It, all
right, I may have boo-booed there and put it in the dryer, so no dryer.
Just air dry it. Yeah, that's
air
ideal.
Dry it. Okay, everybody heard it here. So Sonia's excited about the mix and match. Let me just tell you here, that's awesome. What a great company. I think that was about the mix and match. Definitely need to purchase one, Nicole. Thank you so much for a great design. This is exactly what I needed.
Thank you.
Allison says, thank you so much for all your help over the years with harness fitting and overnighting parts when needed. The best harness and best company to work with. Look at that. I did not pay her either.
No, these are gems, words I've longed to hear. We stressed the customer service. I know that people get annoyed with us because we don't always answer the phone right away.
Yes.
And we are making strides to add another layer to that to happen. But it's really because we're kind of a small company, but we do our best to speak to you directly when we do. Because customer service is something that really went away. When I started this company, everybody was sourcing their customer service to India.
Yeah.
And so we just made sure that everybody that worked with us was here local and knew the product. And that's what's important, is that,
It's,
as you know, these are they are more than our best friends. They are our companions.
yeah.
And, just unsolicited love. And so I know that when people are looking for a harness, they're in a difficult place, and they're looking for something to help them through this moment. And so that's what we try to be. Very, very,
Yeah.
you understand.
It's frustrating because, a lot of times too with mobility issues, they're still happy, wagging their tail, eating,
Yes.
right? But they can't move, and I can go into end of life decisions with that. It's a real struggle. So we can help them with this hard part. And I mean, it has been, without this harness, there's no way I could have gotten Sam to chemotherapy every week. No way to get her to a physical therapy every week. Like absolutely not without your harness. So
Right.
For me personally, as a veterinarian, it has saved my dog. It has extended her life with me, which is priceless. So I'd pay you another $100 for my harness. Michelle says, my harness helped my guy for the last year of his life. It was truly a blessing.
Oh, that's great.
And it has held up so well, even after being loaned out to help other pups. It's awesome.
We hear that all the time. People loan their harnesses, and you know what? Great. Please do it, so that other people can benefit from them. We didn't get into the business to make money. We got into the business to help dogs. And I think that, it shows in the product.
1,000%. Now, somebody asked about, completely paralyzed dogs. And this is not a wheelchair, obviously. And by the way, I've bought Sam a wheelchair because even though she's not totally paralyzed, she needs it for her support. So when I go on walks, she can have, it's like grandma walker.
Right. I
right?
understand.
But even if a dog is totally paralyzed, I love this because you can easily move them around, like shifting them in their bed, like trying to shift a dog in the bed is horrible.
Right.
And did you know, Cary, that when myself and we have Dr. Sheila Robertson who works with us, we speak nationally for veterinary conferences.
Yes.
And we say if as veterinarians, if you've got a dog that's going to be having a surgery and they've got hind end weakness or just old and they're going to be a little groggy after anesthesia, to put one of these on before they wake up. So that way, when they're waking up, you can easily move them around, situate them better in their cage, help them up on the, out of their cage and things like that. So we even recommend it for clinics to use even temporarily.
Wow, and a loaner program works for a lot of practices.
Yeah.
Just through that initial phase, and we recommend that as well. We just went through that as well with our pup. We did another TPLO, and I'm working with our harness, and I'm going, wow, this thing works really well, because getting her, you can't go up and down stairs initially for that first 2 months. And so, but you still got to keep them off of that leg. And the harness works really well. And before I forget, we just introduced looped handles. I don't know if you've seen them, but the shoulder straps and the walking handles each has a kind of a specific need that it solves. You need to lift a whole dog, you need a shoulder strap. But what most people need is a little bit of support when their dog is defecating after post-operative, or they've got some spinal issues, arthritis, and the loop handle clips onto those D-rings, and it just goes over the back, where the hip is, so you can literally support your dog from a little distance away to give them the privacy, so to speak, that they get embarrassed and they look at you like, why are you this close? So exactly right where you have it there. And we sell them as pairs, so you can literally take them from those two D-rings all the way to the two front D-rings, and you can treat the harness as a sling. So if you've got a dog that needs more support, but it's like a longer handle is really what it does.
Well, what's really good about that is because we are also all different sizes, right? Yes. So I am 6'1", And so I'm very tall. I know you can't tell in my little square here, but I'm pretty tall. And so I prefer a bigger dog because then they're up higher, right? So
Yes.
if I'm helping a little 40-pound beagle, it actually hurts my back because I have to bend down lower. So that could even just help me as a tall person, give me extension, if you will.
Well, and you bring up the most significant thing, the size relationship to owner and pet, so bending down all the time becomes painful. So the looped handle is just an extension of the handle on the dog. And so you can walk with your dog and still support them while walking with them.
Right, and not all crimped over, and I love it. Yeah, so Michelle said that's an awesome addition. I created a loop handle with a leash and handles. So she's married, so this is going to be perfect. I would sell out of this. So these comments are awesome. I love it. So all right, now for the accessories, I talked about the wash bag. Love the wash bag because I washed it once without. Actually, I put it in another, like my own garment bag that you can put delicates in, and it came out, and all the little doodads came out. I was sitting there trying to re-loop them. So if this whole lap of love thing doesn't work out, I'm going to come to you guys and be in your assembly line because I could loop them. And I figured it out. But so the wash bag is great, and I have not yet gotten the shoulder strap, but that's really nice to have.
Yeah, it is. If you've got a bigger dog and you're really needing, all of us have sat in a waiting room at a vet practice, and if you watch big dogs getting out of vehicles or owners getting their dogs out of vehicles, it can be really painful at times. So, yeah, and that's where that shoulder strap really comes in handy. I'm trying to work on a cart that folds up so that you can put your dog on that at a practice, and it also would work as a device where therapists can work with the dog because they'll be supported by the harness in that cart.
Gotcha. Okay.
As opposed to those people who don't do water therapy but like to do land therapy, and you guys, who you are. It's a pretty separated group. So we're trying to do something that helps a little bit of everybody.
I love it. Now, Alyssa has a very good question.
Okay.
She's hoping to order one today. She's got a 14-year-old male lab. She just can't figure out where his male parts sit.
I thought I heard some knocking behind me. She's worried about where his male parts fit. Okay.
Right.
So this is the conventional harness, what we call the conventional, is literally for 95% of male dogs. We made a product design that is the new, pelvic pad. And it used to be a solid band underneath their waist with two straps that came back and a pad that connected between those two straps.
Yep.
I had a vet ask me in a presentation, she goes, "Why doesn't it lift from underneath the pelvis?" And I go, "Well, it does actually." She goes, "No, actually it doesn't." And that set me off on that, path. So I redesigned that so that it does fit directly underneath the pelvis. It also allowed us to, that pelvic pad sits behind the male penis. So it cleared up a lot of issues. But for that 5% that are really far back, the penis is literally between the hind legs, we still have the U-band version, and that has an armature that leaves a U-shaped opening so that the penis passes through. But it does, that armature is made of aluminum, and it's not weight, but it's still rigid.
It's something there.
Yeah, but when your dog is lying there.
Okay, so it's only for the ones that are really far set back. It's so rare.
Yes.
So So Alyssa should just probably buy the normal conventional one, and it'll be okay.
It's amazing how many we transfer or swap out, and we do. We swap out. That's also part of our policy. If you buy one and you decide, within 7 to 8 days that it's not the right one, we swap it out.
Nice. So a big point that you made, and I think is really important for everybody to understand, is where you're lifting from. And there's so many people who just use the towels or something like that. And that's that's like their abdomen. That's their belly. That's not, it's not where you should lift from. So
Yes.
you really do need to lift from that pelvis.
Yes, you do. And under the torso.
And yes, and under the torso.
I'm sure so many get used to just using that back handle in and out of vehicles and that sort of thing. You do a little dance, you get used to kind of getting their front legs up, and then boom, you lift with the back handle. And
I should video me, because Sam, my girl, she thinks she can still get in the car. So she's like, woo. And I have to be careful because she'll try it. She'll fall right over. And getting out, I just lift her right out. It's crazy. So Connie, so Alyssa's going to go by because she's ready now. She doesn't need the U-band. Connie says, does the shoulder strap work with all versions?
It does. Two different sizes. Okay. There's the extra large, and then there's the large or the medium. And and it's kind of counterintuitive because the extra large it's longer length and a little thicker. Okay. But the medium is actually longer in length because it's for shorter dogs. You know what I mean? So you got to get it over the shoulder, you want that quality, that feature, getting it all the way to the opposite shoulder.
And those just hook onto the D-ring, the rings, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
It has nothing to do with the because she's got the U-band version. That doesn't matter.
No,
right?
it hooks onto the handle and to one of the front O-rings.
Okay.
And then the walking handle is great for walking with your dog. It spins because we found out early on that you have dogs who are spinners, and so you literally aren't trying to turn the handle to adjust to the dog. You just stand there and the dog can spin with it. So
that's fantastic.
Because
mine doesn't necessarily spin. Well, Sam, but my other dog, he likes to spin or to pick his spot wisely. So he'll right.
That's the spin. Yeah, exactly.
He just doesn't want to poop in front of everybody. So he's got to, hustle into the woods a little bit. So when did you create this?
Gosh, I think it was 2008.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I think that's when we actually got, it was funny. We got our first patent on Christmas Day. I mean, it was issued December 25th, 2008, 2009. So it's been a while.
It's been a long time. Do you know how many harnesses you've sold? Just for fun.
Honest to God, I have no idea.
It's got to be dozens of thousands, like thousands. So do you know where the farthest one of your harnesses have ever gone?
It went to the far reaches of Russia, believe it or not. And I couldn't tell you what city it was because I don't think I could read it. But South America, all the way to the end of the continent.
Yeah.
Hong Kong, Jane McNay, probably. You probably met her at some places. So she is a huge proponent of the harness and, selling in Hong Kong. So we're all around the world. Australia is another great, I was just telling this to somebody yesterday. It's really fascinating because the countries all around the world don't really treat dogs the same, from country to country. And that attitude of we're going to preserve this dog. We're going to keep this dog as long as possible exists in,
with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people look at me like I'm a little crazy doing all that I do. So, and
really, who's that? Who would think that?
My girl Sam, she's gonna live to 28. She's only 14. Come on. Yeah. Now I know you guys are in Colorado.
Yes.
Yeah, I was in Denver a few months ago, just like in September for a conference, and I was like, oh, I'd love to go south because I think you're south in Boulder, if I'm not mistaken. Not that I'm creeping on you guys, but you are my favorite company.
There are a lot of companies like ours here. This is kind of entrepreneurial heaven.
I love it.
Kong is, Golden, Colorado, just west of us, is where Kong started.
Really?
Yeah, and he still lives out there. He sold the vet practice to KPM, and they're out of California, but he still exists. And recently, a contractor working on our house worked at his place and told me the story of how he invented the Kong, and it's really unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Cool.
It was a bushing for a shock absorber, and he threw it to his dog, and his dog went ape, just crazy. Yeah. And that began his process. And it's a great story.
I love stories like this, how stuff gets created. So,
how long have you been doing this? Sorry, Mary, I don't know that.
Well, listen. So I graduated University of Florida in 2008. And, but I had a 10-year career in software development before I became a veterinarian. So I'm older. So I graduated when I was older.
You don't look
it. Thank you. It's all the filters that Facebook Live provides. And so have been doing end of life care since over 10 years now. And I love it. I love it. It's we meet the best families. Yes, it is the hardest time for them, but to make it a little bit better and is very rewarding. And I don't want to say unfortunate, but the majority of what we do is end of life is euthanasia. And what does make me sad is when I go to a home and their pet has not been to their doctor in over a year. They don't have the flooring, it's a ice rink because the floor is, a tile on the floor. They're sitting there with the towels, trying to move them, and it's so many mobility dogs. It's ridiculous. So so that's why I like to do these things, is to teach people about other products that are available before they need our services for end of life. I want them to have a good life until that time, and this harness allows that. So
good for you.
Can't say enough about it. So we don't have a clinic. We only go to people's homes. And I know that I was talking to your wife about that because she's like, oh, do your doctors need this? It's the doctors before Lap of Love that need your brochures and words. So if any of you are that are listening or have the Help 'em Up harness, tell your vets about it, because we don't know every product out there, right? So
yes.
The best way us vets learn about products is usually by the families that find them.
And you've reminded me of one more thing I'd like to just, point out. And what happens is that people they become very accustomed to the harness, and they leave it on their dog for lengthy periods of time. And, we're talking 2 and 3 weeks at a time. And we don't hear the truth, but we suspect and all I request of them is that the 2 straps that come up between the hind legs, if they just disconnect those at night, because dogs move their legs at night when they're sleeping, and it can rub in between their hind legs. And so that's all they got to do. So it'll still support the dog if they have to get up at 3 a.m. for that potty break. But and it's easy just to snap those 2 up and get them going.
Perfect. I will do that with Sam tonight, because I leave it on her. I mean, I like I said, I take it off every day, but I leave all the straps on at night, so I'll take that off because she finds herself caught in weird places in the middle of the night, and I gotta go.
We all, right?
Yeah, I'll be that person in 40 years too. So.
Oh God.
Okay, now.
Yes.
So somebody said her dog runs ultra marathons at night. So when we posted this Facebook Live announcement, we had done a little contest, if you will, and asked people to post pictures of their gray muzzles, because I love a gray muzzle.
Right.
And you guys are going to be giving them a harness at whatever size they need.
Yes.
Plus the shoulder strap.
Whichever one they prefer.
Whatever they prefer. Okay, and a wash bag. Right? If I'm not mistaken. Okay, perfect. So I could not be the decider of it, because I would pick everybody who submitted their thing. I'd be like, all 10 of you get this. But hold on, I am getting the winner. So I had Deanna, who helps me. So hi, Deanna. Somebody says I missed out on the contest. I know. But Deanna picked the winner. And so we will contact her if she's not watching right now. But the winner is Terry Ambrosoli. Dog name is Lily. So we will contact Lily's mom.
Okay.
And let them know how to reach out to you guys to collect her winnings. But so thank you guys for donating that. We really appreciate it.
Our pleasure.
Now, did I forget anything important to ask?
No, we have covered the gamut, I think,
I think we did. All right. So listen, in 2 weeks, I'm doing a Facebook Live on laser therapy.
Oh,
so,
great.
Very cool with the Dr. Kristen Kirkby, who I used to be in Colorado, actually. And there Terry was watching. There you go, Lily. So listen, Terry, my only request is that when you get your harness, that you post and post it and tag Help Them Up. I tag you guys on all my stuff. And listen, you know what? I've been doing a really bad job. I was supposed to put these little blue things up. So the website is helpemup.com, HELPEM up.
And if you need to text us or email us, it's info@helpemup.com.
Info@helpemup.
Yeah.
Yes. So hopefully those of you will watch in a few weeks about the laser. I thank you so much for coming on and chatting with me. I told you it'd be slightly painless.
No, this has been perfect. I'm sorry I was late. It turns out that Firefox doesn't support your site, Laugh of Love, or I don't know if it's your site or just.
No, this is Facebook and BeLive. So
BeLive is what it didn't support.
All right, that's good to know. That's good for us to know. But you know what? I went on by myself and basically
you were killing it.
I was doing my best job. I mean, I've gotten 3 of these things. I pretty much know it.
You probably are an expert at this point. You played the video, right?
I played the video. Everything. We're good. And one day when we're out of lockdowns and whatnot, I would love a tour of your facility. So.
Okay.
I want to, put me to work, make a few things.
Okay. Yeah, that's a short tour. And just if any of your viewers need photos, or anything like that for their websites, we can provide those, and without it's fairly painless.
Good. And I love personally to see photos of our dogs using it all around. So you could always tag me for, Dr. Mary.
That's great.
So tag me. One of my girlfriends, I sent you and your wife a picture of her dog. She's in Hawaii, and she has this beautiful picture of her dog in Maui wearing your harness. So it's all over.
Wow. So glamour shots, sort of a
glamour shots. Yes.
Sports Illustrated magazine type of thing. Okay. Totally.
Exactly.
Why isn't there one of those, right?
Well, thank you again, and thank you everybody for watching. I hope this is helpful. Again, you guys have extended the lives of thousands of pets and extended happiness than you probably will ever know. So thank you from the bottom of my heart, from a gray muzzle lover and a supporter of your product. So good job.
Thank you, Mary. This was fun. I hope to see you at an event, sometime in the near future,
Definitely. Well, now we know each other. So
yes.
All right. Well, take care. Bye, everybody.
Thanks, Mary.
You're welcome. Bye.